How are you?
I am good, Siddiqui. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. I feel like you're my emotional security blanket for going live today.
It takes two. I'm so glad to
Takes
be here, though,
two.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for those of you that are watching, welcome. We're so glad you're here. This is Dr. Nora Jocelyn. She is a cardiothoracic surgeon and she is the head coach at my business, Soul Ray Portrait LLC. And we are here to talk to you about the three keys to unmuting yourself. I feel so self conscious, like I'm pointing at my chest, like, look
Right?
at me.
Well, you know,
So, if you are just tuning in, we are so glad you're here. We're gearing this conversation to corporate professional women. Maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a consultant, maybe you're a thought leader, maybe you're a C-level executive or any kind of leader in your company. And we really want to help women like you to be seen, be heard, and be yourself. Nora.
yes. And I would also invite, people that are in the trenches, women especially that are in the trenches that are struggling to really stand up and speak out so they can make that difference that they know in their hearts that they are here to make, and yet maybe they're getting lost in the sea of sameness around them, and being able to have that courage to step forward and to be seen for the unique individual that they are and the unique contribution that they can share with the world.
Ooh, that was so well said. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. We promised that we would go over the three keys to unmuting yourself
Mhm.
today. And the first, I'm just going to dive right in because I know that our time is valuable. The first key to unmuting yourself, whether it's in your relationship, at your job, with your kids, with your partner, um, in your career, maybe you have your own thing going on the side, whatever it is, the first key is to be seen. And I would say actually to be willing to be
Mhm.
seen. How many of you out there, and we can see the comments, by the way, if you write in the comments, how many of you out there would raise your hand to say, yep, I'm still a best kept secret. you know, because if you're not making the money that you know that your skill and education level commands,
Mhm.
especially compared to the men, if you're not making the money, if you're not getting the results, if you're not getting the recognition, and if you're just not getting far enough, you know that you're just not being seen enough for people to find you. And when people see you, it creates opportunities. Nora, do you want to give an example from one of our clients?
Yes. So we've had several clients actually that have these amazing, amazing skills that they can share, and they spread so much um, help and support in the world, and yet they don't speak up. They don't show up on social media. They don't show up in their larger circles. And a great example is a woman who we've worked with who has these. She's got a social work background. She has all of these other amazing, what I would term ancillary skill sets that she
So
has.
very doctor of you. Ancillary skills. Okay.
It's the word that came to mind. I
Good.
can't help it.
You're so
Start counting syllables,
intelligent.
right? Um, and and yet she was unsure of herself enough to ask for her value. And after being in our program for just a matter of weeks, she was able to increase her rates. She was able to very well express the particular client that she wanted to work with, and over the course of the time that she was with us, actually doubled her rates
Mhm.
and has tailored her clientele to people that she loves to work with. And I
Mm.
think that that's the key, is being able to to show up for yourself, to be seen for the value that you are worth
Mm.
yourself, and allowing people to see that as well.
I love that. So being seen is speaking up to your value, attesting to your value, standing in your value. But I also want to just take it to the strip it down to the most basic level. And that is in this online marketplace, listen, Zoom meetings are not going away. There's more people in the history of the workforce of the world that are working virtually now as a result of the offshoot of the pandemic. And so if you're telling yourself that business is going to go back to business as usual, it's just not. And we've seen that as a trend. So the people that you have spent your life getting educated, building up skills so that you can help other people, they need to see you. They literally need to see you in order to feel you and to feel safe with you and to feel like you are someone that they want to approach and get to know more before they ever buy you. It's a very basic sales and marketing messages. People need to know, like, and trust you before they will hire you or buy your services, or you need to have that proven track record if you're in corporate America of people seeing you as an effective leader in your space. So being seen is about being willing to stand up and stand for your value. And it leads to the second key, which is being heard. And I don't know, Nora, if you have a story about that. I know I'm thinking of Hyun in the White House.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, being heard.
Being heard. Hyun is an amazing story, and she's got this incredible, just an incredible story when it comes to adoption and childhood trauma and all of the things that she's overcome. And yet, when she was willing to speak out and speak up, this whole opportunity of being invited to the White House to be interviewed about the role that she played in her recently deceased mother's care. For the last 4 years, she was her mother's primary caregiver, and as Hyun was willing to show up in other areas of her life and speak out in other areas of her life, this opportunity was presented to her, which is, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's literally on the Twitter feed at the White House. She called me, 6 months into our year-long Mastering Visibility program, and she's like, "I was just on the White House on their Twitter feed, and I was being interviewed at the White House." And I'm like, "Get the frick out." So proud of her. And that's really what I want you to hear in terms of unmuting yourself. Again, I'm pointing to my chest. Nora, your turn next. No. Um, when you unmute yourself, it doesn't just affect one area of your life. If you unmute yourself and you start to speak up and show up over here on your social media videos or over here at work or over here in a relationship, it has this unintended consequence of affecting other things and creating opportunities. And that's why the first two keys of being seen and being heard are paramount if you have a business where you need to get clients online, people that you will never meet. Nora and I have been working together for
A
a
year and a half.
year and a half.
Yes.
We've never met in person. We're meeting in 2 weeks. No
Okay.
less than a week. It's so exciting. I'm
We're
so
excited.
excited. But this is the new world order, is that in order to get clients online, in order to run an effective business or be an effective leader in whatever it is you're doing, you need to get over your discomfort, be seen, be heard, so that the third key is you can be yourself. And I know these might all sound very obvious to you as you're listening to this, like, well, I know. But if we knew it, we would be doing it. And if we were actually doing these three keys and unmuting ourselves, we would be getting more money, more recognition, more opportunities, more partnerships, more platforms. And those are some of the end results that you get when you start showing up and speaking up and shining your light online so that other people that you are meant to serve can find you. this might sound obvious to you, write in the chat of these 3 keys to unmuting yourself: being seen, being heard, and being yourself. Just chuck one of those in the chat and let us know which of those you struggle with the most, because we've seen it all.
Right.
And we really want to support you in whatever area this is showing up for you, because there's so much freedom on the other side, especially with the being yourself piece. Nora, example. I'm
I,
putting Nora on the spot, by
I
the way.
know
Think
I'm a
about
great
this. Is
example of being
quick.
yourself. With you, I came to you a year and a half ago, and after ending my medical career the
Mhm.
year before, and I came to you with this whole woo side that I was having a difficult time integrating everything. And and over the course of our time together, I have been able to bring what feels like diametrically opposite portions of myself to a middle ground where I feel really confident about being able to speak up about both sides of who I am and actually put it out there outside of, the closed, safe little space. And it's in that space of being able to show up for fully who I am and what I believe that has allowed me the opportunity to work with you on
Mhm.
a professional basis. It's allowed me to launch a meditation program. It's allowed me to really expand to the the global community that I never had prior to embracing both sides of myself.
Mm, I love that. So I'm hearing that you being yourself is being this highly trained cardiothoracic surgeon and having this, what you're calling a woo side, where you do meditate. But I don't see that as very woo personally. I've, if you were talking to extraterrestrials, that to me is woo. So it's like, what's the
Not today.
definition of woo? Not today. Not today, maybe not in this lifetime. Anyway, that integration of these parts of ourselves that we have held out and been like, well, nobody needs to see that part of me. And if I brought that part of me to where I am right now, I would lose credibility, I would lose face, people would judge me. And that leads to this way in which we are holding back the best and the juiciest parts of ourselves from what we're doing. And I have to say that that lack of being congruent with all of who you are, we pay a price for it. And this is how you know that you are muted. Let me just give you some of the road signs of how you know if you have been muting yourself either in word or deed. And it's just really simple. It's like, if you are not feeling satisfied, if you're not feeling fulfilled, if you're feeling burned out, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're caught in any kind of perfectionism, if you feel paralyzed from moving forward, either in a relationship, in your career, then you know that on some level you're not seeing yourself, you're not being heard, and you're not showing up in alignment with the truth of who you are. And I don't mean that to sound out there. This is a call to action
Mhm.
for those of us that know we are meant to have more of an impact. And we've been holding ourselves back because of the voice in our head that says, I'm afraid I'll be judged, I'm afraid they'll look at me and think that I'm a wackadoo. We've been trying to fix it, change it, solve it, get rid of it, that part of ourselves that is actually the key to fulfillment. And so, Nora, I hear that for you, and I think it takes a lot of courage. I think it takes a lot of courage to kind of come out of the closet with these parts of ourselves that maybe we don't see as acceptable, and to learn to speak to them, you know, to what it is, and
Mm.
to present it in a way that actually isn't woo, it's very integrated.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of times it's that part of us that feels the most vulnerable
Mm.
That really truly is the part that when we, instead of trying to wall it off and protect it, when we nurture it and we share it, little by little, uh, we allow it to, that's the part that connects with, I mean, that's where the authenticity comes from. That's the
Mhm.
part
Mhm.
that people can look at it, they can feel it. It's the know, like, and trust factor, right? They've got to feel you. And that's what draws them in. That's what draws in the people that you are here to serve, by sharing that portion of yourself that is most vulnerable. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
I love that. So listen, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We're going to be doing this every week until our event on July 18th. So July 18th, unmute yourself live. Be seen, be heard, be yourself. If you want to learn how to do that, or even just really get honest with yourself about the cost of staying muted, although I'm sure you already know what the cost is, if you want to move beyond that so that you can truly make an impact in the world, also because many of us need the clients, we need the cash, we want to make a contribution. If those free things are important to you, come to Unmute Yourself Live. We're going to help you get some basic structures, some accountability, some inspiration around how being seen, being heard, and being yourself are the keys to getting what you really want in your life, in your career, in your relationships, and feeling really fulfilled and going from that overwhelm into a place of just feeling at peace and having freedom. So if that sounds good, Nora, we're going to put the link below, right?
Yes. Yes. In
Yes.
the first comment below.
Yeah, we would love to have you. We'll be back next week at the same bat time to talk more about these principles of unmuting ourselves. And Nora, is there anything else you want to say?
There's safety in numbers. And I would
Mhm.
say that I would not be where I am today had
Mhm.
I not had the community support within the visibility programs. And I mean, honestly, it's true because I needed the camaraderie and the connection of the other women who were willing to reach out and support me as I stepped through all of the resistance that was keeping me small and keeping me quiet and keeping me stuck.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
I cannot say it any better than that. Thank you, Nora. And it's truly a privilege and an honor to work with you and see the level of care and service that you deliver to our clients and to the people that join us in the events. We have a very boutique, high touch, high yield environment that we support women leaders to step into their power and express it more effectively in the world. So, if that sounds like what you want, we would love to have you. The link is going to be below to Unmute Yourself Live. Please join us next week, and we are going to cover the 4 myths of visibility, which is I'm defining visibility as being seen, being heard, and being yourself. So, the 4 myths that we tell ourselves that keep us a best kept secret. If you're ready to go from hidden to hello world, come and join us next week. We would love to have you. Feel free to write your comments below and we will be searching the chat and we will get back to you. Once again, thank you for joining us and we're sending you lots of love. Mwah.